And a very good morning to you, Madonna. My goodness, you're looking good. You've got a Christmas dress on.
Well, it's that time of year.
Oh, yeah, why not? The 1st of December, and now it's all full on Christmas up until the 25th. And you've got a very special guest in the studio this morning.
This morning we're going to be talking AutoImmune Paleo with Amanda. So Amanda's been doing the AutoImmune Paleo diet for a couple of years. And we're going to chat about what benefits and, what she's found and what she gets away with, what she doesn't, and how her body responds. So can you tell us a little bit about how you started with the autoimmune, or what conditions were going on that prompted you to go in this direction?
Okay, well, good morning, everyone. 5 years ago, I was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, but prior to that, the first year before that, I suppose, I started to have joint issues. I went from playing competitive tennis 2 or 3 times a week to barely being able to walk in a period of about 4 or 5 months. I'd had joint issues for years. When you look back on it, hindsight is a wonderful thing, but you don't put things together. And
Did you assume it was because of your sport or something like that?
Yeah, I just assumed it was because I was busy. I used to play hockey, I played netball, I horseback rode and played netball and did all sorts, played rugby in my 20s of all things. So yes, there were injuries inflicted while I was playing that, but you just put it down to wear and tear. I mean, I was in my middle 40s by then, so it's just a case of, I'm aging. Dad had 2 replacement hips, Mum had a replacement knee, so we just kind of went, all right, it's my turn now.
It's in the family.
It's in the family, it's in the genes. And then I went to a GP and she sent me off for some x-rays, which showed nothing. And being the sort of person that I am, I wasn't happy just to sit back and have an anti-inflammatory. So I found another doctor, local one, who was musculoskeletal, and I went to see him, and the first thing he said was, it looks like rheumatoid arthritis. And I went, oh, well, what's that? My dad's got this and my mum's got that. And no, this is a very different thing. And I went, okay. He said, I'll refer you to the rheumatologist. So I had to wait 3 months for the rheumatologist, and in the meantime, I was then put on to the wonderful drug prednisone, which is a steroid, corticosteroid, at 25 milligrams a day.
Yeah.
It helped. My goodness me, I could get out of bed, I could walk.
Yes.
And so yes, and it took the edge off. Eventually got to see my rheumatologist, rounds and rounds of blood work, and after 2 months we finally got the diagnosis of rheumatoid arthritis.
So they found antibodies in your blood?
They found antibodies in my blood. It took a while because rheumatoid arthritis is very difficult to actually diagnose. I'd come up with psoriatic arthritis before that and something else, and I can't remember now. So it took a while. So then we got the RA diagnosis, and the immediate thing was, right, we'll try on this drug, and this drug. And I went, no, hold on, slow down, can we just do one drug at a time? So we did the one drug at a time, and I had I'm in that very small percentage of people that have severe side effects to all of the drugs.
So what sort of side effects did you have?
Well, the first one turned me into a lobster. My skin went bright red all over. I started with a rash, and then the whole of my skin turned bright red. So we stopped that one. And in the meantime, I think I had a 6-week wait before I saw her. I started Dr. Googling and interneting and did all my own research, and the first thing that came up everywhere I looked was gluten. At that point I had no idea what gluten was, so I read into it a bit more. Right, okay, let's go gluten-free. So I immediately cut out everything that's got gluten in, which is not as easy as it sounds, because gluten is hidden in so many things.
Yeah. So it's not just being wheat-free. A lot of people think wheat and gluten are the same thing,
but gluten.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got gluten in your oats, you've got gluten in your pseudo grains. There's gluten everywhere, actually. The first thing that happened was my joints. There was a definite improvement in my joints, and I lost probably, I went from a size 14 to a size 10.
In how long?
6 weeks.
Okay, right. So that was obviously...
So the gluten was an inflammation driver, basically. So I started, and I've been carrying a lot of weight for a long time, which had never shifted. Despite all the exercise I did, it sat there. And it's disappeared. I went into my follow-up appointment with my rheumatologist, and she went, wow, you look really good. These drugs are really working. I went, well, actually, I only took them for a week because of the side effects. Oh, what's the side effects? oh, well, that's not usual, let's try on something else. She said, well, what else have you done? I said, well, I've cut the gluten. And her immediate response was, do not change your diet. Under any circumstances, the only thing that has been proven to work is fish oil. Take fish oil. So I'm taking fish oil. I've been taking fish oil for 5 years, and now I can't stand it. I physically gag every time I think of fish oil because I've just had so much of it. We tried a different drug, and again, I had a side effect, so I stopped taking that. Then we went on to another one. The rheumatoid, it was starting to move around my body at this point. It wasn't just in my feet, it had started to move, and this is the thing, it moves pretty quickly. And we wanted to get it under control, so I tried the king of all rheumatoid arthritis drugs, actually, methotrexate, which actually did help, but then my hair started to fall out and I lost 3/4 of my hair. And
it's a chemotherapy drug
it's
as
a
well.
chemotherapy drug, exactly.
Yeah.
But when you're taking it for things other than chemo, because my dose was minimal compared to what you have with chemotherapy. Oh, it shouldn't normally, that shouldn't happen. And I'm going, well, it's happened, so what we're going to do? So she said, well, we'll give your body a break. I was sent off to a dermatologist to make sure there was nothing else going on. Because the trouble is, once you've got one autoimmune disease, your body is compromised, and so you're open to another one.
Yes.
And another one. And I know several people that have 4, 5, 6 autoimmune diseases.
Yeah, absolutely.
At that point, I was still just with the one. I was doing all right. It was just rheumatoid arthritis. That was it. Just, she says. And so, body took a break. We had to up the prednisone. And in the meantime, so this is probably about 6 months in.
So what was the biggest dose of prednisone you ever took?
25 milligrams.
Just once a day?
Once a day.
Okay, cool.
For 3 months.
Right.
And then by the time I'd actually got to see my rheumatologist, we were tapering down. So I was on 20 for probably another couple of months. And then we were tapering down and tapering down. I was living on 10 at that point. And that was keeping the edge off. And I was okay. I was happy with that. I mean, this was still 6 or 7 months into diagnosis. So in the meantime, I started doing even more research. And I came across some wonderful blogs. And started following these bloggers and thought, this paleo back 5 years ago was fairly new.
Yes.
Pete Evans, I think he was playing with paleo, but really wasn't out in the kind of
mainstream.
Where he wasn't mainstream at that point, and there was very little out there. So it was a lot of research, and then I decided to go dairy free. Dairy free. Was a big thing, actually. I lost even more weight. My moods settled, which my family were very happy about, because I used to get severe PMS and things like that.
So the dairy was one of the estrogen
yes,
drivers.
But the thing is, thinking back on it, I mean, when I was at school in the UK back in the 60s and 70s, we were given a small jar of milk every day. We had to have our milk, and I hated the milk. I couldn't drink raw milk.
Yes.
I used to go in the pot plants. The pot plants did really well with the raw milk. And so even back then, my body knew it didn't like dairy.
Yeah.
And growing up, I very, very rarely had dairy. But when I did, moods changed. But it's only, hindsight is a wonderful thing. I'll keep saying it because it is a wonderful thing. I haven't missed dairy. Actually, what I do miss is at Christmas time is my cheese.
Right.
I do miss my cheese. But so, where are we now? We're probably about a year in, and again, she's still saying, don't change your diet, don't change your diet, it's not going to make any difference. So we started on our 4th drug, and my hair continued to fall out. She went, oh yeah, she said, if you've had this reaction to methotrexate and the hair falls out, it quite often happens with this one. And my question was then, well, why did you put me on it? Why did you bother? So I actually stopped it by myself because it was falling out, and she said, well, discuss it next time I see you. And I went, no, I'm not doing this. So at this point, I was living just on prednisone, and I was down to about 5 milligrams. So coming off the dairy, I'd been able to drop again.
Wonderful.
With the prednisone.
Also an inflammatory driver in your body.
In the body, yes. I mean, the human body's not designed to drink dairy of any sort.
And homogenised, pasteurised, it totally changes the protein structure anyway, makes it much harder for us to digest.
Even my son has issues with dairy. So, I mean, I was talking to Madonna before this interview. Actually, my son, he's gone through this journey with me, actually. And so he's aware. And even though he poo-poos everything that I say and suggest, he actually is on board. He follows me.
Yes.
So his dairy, he's cut his dairy. Back in, where are we now, 2007, so 2004, I came across something called the AutoImmune Paleo Protocol, commonly known out there as the AIP. And this was quite a strict form of paleo. Paleo, in its broadest sense, means no gluten, no dairy. You can still continue with things like nightshades. And nightshades, for those that don't know, include potatoes, capsicum. Tomatoes was the big thing for me, and I know that I have a severe reaction to tomatoes. Goji berries, which everyone loves. Goji berries go in just about every paleo bowl out there. So if you're having problems with a paleo bowl, it may be those goji berries, it might be a nightshade thing, you never know. But paleo is predominantly nuts and seeds. There's a lot of nuts and seeds. And so I took this all on board. I took on the paleo diet, and I was going full paleo. And unfortunately, paleo promotes what I call the sweet treats. Wherever you look, all you're seeing is the sweet stuff. The cakes, the bliss balls, the treats. It's all dried
That's
fruit.
true, isn't it? That's the thing that that people will be seeing.
Bowls, that's what you see out there. You don't really see much in the way of the savoury stuff. It promotes the sweet stuff. So by adopting a paleo diet, yes, it's good for you, but if you're still filling yourself up with the treats, which are high in dried fruits and nuts and seeds, you're not really helping yourself. If
and even coconut sugar.
Coconut shreds. A lot of people have an intolerance to coconut. All of a sudden, what you're doing is you're going from the SAD diet, which is the standard Australian or standard American diet, to something which is a lot cleaner. But you're changing your diet from one thing to another, and your body kind of goes, well, what on earth's going on here? And it doesn't know what to do, because all of a sudden you're introducing these new things that you might have only had very, very occasionally. And all of a sudden you're actually bombarding your body with this new stuff, and it goes, oh, don't like that, which is what mine did with the nuts and the seeds. And I cannot tolerate nuts anymore because I just completely overdid the nuts. So, so paleo was going well. The diet within the household was changing. We were eating a lot cleaner. I'd started to buy organic fruit and veggies. And to this day, 95% of my fruit and veggies are organic. I follow the clean 15 and dirty dozen protocol because, organic, people say organic's very expensive, but it has been in the past, but it's becoming more affordable because more people are buying organic.
We might take a very quick break there, Amanda, and have a song.
Good idea, because it's December the 1st. Yes, getting close to Christmas. We'll be back with